Hey everyone! So I was finishing up posting my WandaVision episode 8 review, hopped onto Twitter to see that big gigantic reports about a new reboot of Superman is in the works from JJ Abrams' Bad Robot. And while these rumors have kind of been circulating for a while now, this wasn't totally out of the blue. This is being reported by Deadline. There's different kind of categories of trustworthiness when it comes to the rumor mill. If it just comes off rando on Reddit, not very reliable. If it's on We Got This Covered, almost certainly not true. And then you start having kind of people that are film journalists, but not necessarily working for like the high profile places. So they do have sources, but they don't necessarily have a team of people with sources. And then you kind of have people that have had multiple scoops in the past that have come to fruition, played out to be true. And then you kind of have those top movie news sites, Variety, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, that have been around a long time. And they have journalistic standards. They're not randos. These are people who have careers on the line. Their organizations have a reputation. They don't run with rumors. They check sources. This is being run by Deadline. So even though we kind of heard JJ Abrams was probably heading towards Superman for a while now, we now have a little bit more information on this. So let's kind of dive into the article and see what Deadline is reporting. So our headline, Superman reboot in the works at Warner Brothers with Ta-Nehisi Coates writing, JJ Abrams producing. So the headline as of right now is that JJ Abrams is producing and not writing. Now, this, if you don't know the history on this, back basically 20 years ago, JJ Abrams wrote one of the versions of the fifth Superman movie. The movie was in development hell for years, and they had like Tim Burton's Superman Lives, and then when that fell apart, they had this version called Superman Flyby that was written by JJ Abrams. McG was going to direct it. It didn't happen, obviously, and then they did Superman Returns. So JJ Abrams has a very long history with the Superman franchise. So at the moment, it says that he is doesn't say he's directing, and it doesn't say that he's writing. So diving into the article, it says, Deadline has confirmed that author Ta-Nehisi Coates is writing a Superman reboot featuring a Warner Brothers and DC reboot feature for Warner Brothers and DC, which JJ Abrams is producing under his Bad Robot label. Now, what you need to understand about this is that JJ Abrams has this company, Bad Robot. They've been around 20 years, been a long time, maybe over 20 years. And he's basically a brand himself. Both Bad Robot and JJ Abrams are brand, but people know the name JJ Abrams, and so they'll use him, even though he's just basically the guy that runs Bad Robot, as a label to like get people's attention. So if you look at the stuff that Bad Robot has done, I mean, it's produced so many movies, TV shows where JJ Abrams is listed as a producer, but that can mean very, very, very different things. Sometimes it means he directed the pilot, wrote an episode, and then didn't touch it. And other times he was the brainchild that came up with the idea. You don't really always, it's not always immediately clear how involved JJ Abrams will be if it's a Bad Robot production. So keep that in mind with all of this. It's a Bad Robot production. JJ Abrams is producing. And so kind of going into it, it says Hannah Minghella will serve as a producer. No plot yet. No attachments, despite the fact that we've heard Henry Cavill is eager to get back into the Cape. Coates, the writer, is attached to a Ryan Coogler-directed drama entitled Wrong Answer about a math teacher in Atlanta who's scandalized when he looks to get funding for his school by altering the students' test scores. Michael Jordan is attached to The Wrong Answer. Kind of continues on into kind of giving the background on our writer on this one. And what it says, as the national correspondent for The Atlantic, Coates covered cultural, social, and political issues, specifically that of African Americans and white supremacy. He has written for The Village Voice, Time, and contributed to New York Times. And then if you kind of go through it, why is he writing a Superman movie, you might ask? Of note, Coates has written Black Panther and a Captain America series for Marvel Comics, and received a special thanks on the credits of Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, and Black Panther. So, what do I make of all this news? honestly, I'm not very excited about it. It doesn't, at this moment in time, this does not sound good to me. This does not sound exciting to me. And the timing of it feels weird. They just debuted a new Superman show, and instead of that show letting it be in the spotlight for a month and then announcing this, what is it, 2 days after the show debuted, 3 days after the show debuted, they announced we're rebooting the movies. Right off the bat, I go, that puts a bad taste in my mouth. They're not announcing, I guess, but this report comes out, so people leaked things. This coming out right now, I don't like that they're stealing the TV show's thunder. But set that aside. What do I think about JJ Abrams producing a Superman movie with Bad Robot? There is a time I would have been very excited about that. This isn't that moment. Just because of what went on with Star Wars, how bad the trilogy kind of turned out by the end of it, how little of a plan there was. Just Bad Robot doesn't have the reputation it once did for me. I've been a heavy defender of Bad Robot over the years, and JJ Abrams. And I think he has done a lot of great things, but there's wild inconsistency there. And we've gotten enough evidence to see that there's very big holes in his skill set, his strategy, what he does. Like, there's consistent mistakes that he makes and corners that he cuts. And that's a problem that makes me less excited about Superman movies than I should be. Then you kind of continue through it. It's called a reboot. They don't say or not say whether Cavill is in it. It says Cavill's interested. We're going multiverse. Robert Pattinson is not Ben Affleck's Batfleck. So Cavill still could come back. They seem very comfortable having multiple versions of their characters and not caring. Zack Snyder's Justice League is about to come out, and we're announcing the Batman, put a trailer out. They don't seem to care about that. So it doesn't mean we're not going to see more Cavill. I'd much rather have Man of Steel 2 than JJ Abrams reboots Superman. I want Man of Steel 2. I want a proper follow-up for Henry Cavill's Superman, where he gets to be in the lead. It's not a team-up movie. It's not a fight Batman movie. It's just Man of Steel 2. This seems like I wouldn't think, like, we might see more Cavill, but it doesn't seem like they'd have Man of Steel 2 and JJ Superman. That doesn't seem particularly likely to me. So then I'm not crazy about that part to it. And then the part of Ta-Nehisi Coates writing it also has me nervous. I do not really know the work of Ta-Nehisi Coates. I can't feel like I'm an expert on his work. But when you say he's written for The Atlantic as a journalist about political issues and white supremacy, and I hear that and I go, okay, I don't want Superman to turn into a commentary on 21st century America and wherever they might be going with. Like, that does not interest me at all. I want Superman to be Superman. I don't need a highly politicized take on the character. So it makes me nervous. Like, I haven't read his Black Panther comics. I haven't read his Captain America comics. Like, I just don't know. But when you read the bio and it's like, yeah, he covers politics. Now he's writing Superman. That is a merger that I would be interested in less of that than as opposed to more of that in cinema. And there's movies that I think work great to tackle big complex ideas, and then there's movies I go to escape all of that. And I actually talked about this in my Superman review just a couple days ago. Of one of the things I enjoyed about the show is it's just kind of show about family, and it's escapism. And I go to comic book movies to escape. There are exceptions, and I could be wrong, and there could be something, they have some angle that makes a lot of sense to me, or a lot of sense in context, but at face value, it makes me nervous that that's where they're headed with this, and going, that is not, it's okay to just have a fun, classic version of Superman without it having to be let's bring the real world into the story about the guy that can fly, and he's an alien from another planet. So it makes me pretty nervous when I see things like that. But I don't know. I don't know his work. I'm just reading the bio. I've heard the name before in different places, and I could be totally off base in some of that. But I'll just see a lot of red flags when I look at this. I don't see the direction that I was hoping for. Man of Steel 2. There's a number of Man of Steel's 2 I could be interested in, but JJ I think he needs to do something smaller that wins me back before I want him to have another big franchise. I guess on that same point, like, I don't want the same voice to have Mission Impossible, Star Trek, Star Wars, Superman. That's a lot for one company to kind of have their fingers on. And a few of those have been good, and a lot of them have taken franchises that I love and done not so great things with them. So having Superman and then bringing, like, what just it does seems like they're putting a spin on Superman that's just a political Superman is not in that, like, just doesn't seem interesting to me really at all. I did see some articles on Twitter that say they wanted a black Superman. I just want Superman. I don't really care if skin color is not the main thing. I want a great story. If you got a great story for me that's true to the Superman, we're cool. That wasn't in this article. Maybe that was someone reading between the lines because of Ta-Nehisi Coates and his history. I don't care. Like, that wouldn't bother me at all. What would bother me is if Superman is rewritten to be a political thing in a way that it's never been before, and adding subtexts and things that are brand new, and it becomes, let's use Superman to tell a story we want to tell rather than let's tell a great Superman story. Tell a great Superman story. I'm all for it. Go whatever direction you want to go with the casting. Racially speaking, I don't care as long as we're telling a great Superman story. So anyway, that's my take on it, given it based off what just dropped. I wish I was more excited, but oddly enough, CW made a Superman show I'm excited about, and we've reached a point in time that them announcing JJ Abrams is doing a new Superman show, and I go, that just has me nervous. I'm not so excited about that. That's my take. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section, and talk to you later.